1 in 3 going, or will be on some form of community supervision in their lifetime, or what else? Almost 90% go back within 5 years after being released.
You ain't
That's the
lying about
number.
them
So
quotas.
when you get out of prison, wait 5 years to celebrate your freedom, because most of you going back.
Yeah.
So it's not that I predicted it. Statistical data
It's
says it.
statistics. Yeah, it's common sense. But
So when you look at how they're talking when he in prison, when he get out of prison, then his conversation lets you know, because what's in a man's heart come out of his mouth.
yeah, you're right
So
about
yeah,
that.
now he was talking Larry Hoover talk when he was in there.
Yeah.
And then you can't have your mama and daddy, homie. The mama, the daddy, and the kids can't all beat up, because
Yeah.
that's almost a guaranteed losing situation.
You know, your client still violated the terms of his ankle monitor location.
Sure, those are all things that are going to be, flushed out. The fact is that he was allowed to be in certain areas at certain times. That really wasn't an argument for today. I wasn't really even going to make that argument. My main thrust of today was to really push on the evidence and see exactly what they had and when they had. How about this? How about the individual who wrote the complaint, who actually drafted the complaint, who was sitting in the courtroom, who's only been an FBI agent for 4 years, does not take the stand. They put someone else on to say what she wrote in her own complaint when she's sitting in the courtroom. And that's done quite often in gamesmanship, because they don't want to put a rookie on the stand and be measured by our legal team.
Well, we got that boy Pooh Shiesty, lawyer, speaking out after the bail has got denied. Yeah, man, ain't looking too good for that boy Pooh Shiesty. We got that boy Charleston White also speaking on it, man. Let's get straight to it. Shout out my boy Stingy K, man.
We're outside federal court here in downtown Dallas for an update on the case that involves the rapper known as Pooh Shiesty, Lontrell Williams Jr. After about a 1 hour probable cause hearing in federal court in downtown Dallas, he has been ordered held. The judge deciding that, yes, there is probable cause that he was involved in the crimes that have been alleged by the FBI. His defense attorneys argued the FBI does not have the guns they mentioned. They do not have the jewelry that they mentioned that was allegedly stolen. They do not have the contract that they say that he was forcing the other rapper known as Gucci Mane to sign to get Pooh Shiesty, the other rapper, out of his contract. But the judge said the evidence is heavy that he was involved in this, that he does have a lengthy criminal history, including gun violations before. So at this point, Lontrell Williams Jr. is being ordered held in federal custody pending his next court.
Pooh Shiesty really robbed Gucci Mane. Give a fuck about Pooh Shiesty or Gucci Mane. For both of them. Nigga. Block. I know how to get you in a block. Blocking power.
So man, we got Charleston White talking about Pooh Shiesty, and we got Pooh Shiesty lawyer coming out, and we got some news about Big 30 bail being paused. So you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, turn them noti bells on all, man. Let's see what Pooh Shiesty lawyer got to say.
COHEN, Psalm Zengane, John Helms.
And any questions, just look straight at it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what was made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night, and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that I thought was quite embarrassing was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly...
That's why I'm starting to think this is a whole publicity stunt, bruh. Because it ain't no way, bruh. How all of a sudden, all this evidence y'all got on the internet about this man came up missing? And it's false news. Come on, gang.
Cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoop.
You're
It's gotta be for the label to make.
On the he said kind of case, no evidence.
Correct. Yeah, it's very fair. I think that this is it's a he said type of a case. I mean, obviously, there's 5 individuals on one side. What we're missing are the other people that were present in the room, right? The owner of the studio who says he didn't hear anything or see anything. The way they leave the studio, where no one is in concert with anybody else, no one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?" Like, the story is quite unusual. And I think that the FBI knew that. I think the investigators knew that it was unusual. And I think that's why it took so long to make the arrest.
What is your response to the judge saying that, your client still violated the terms of this ankle monitor location?
Sure, those are all things that are going to be, flushed out. The fact is that he was allowed to be in certain areas at certain times. That really wasn't an argument for today. I wasn't really even going to make that argument. My main thrust of today was to really push on the evidence and see exactly what they had and when they had. How about this? How about the individual who wrote the complaint, who actually drafted the complaint, who was sitting in the courtroom, who's only been an FBI agent for 4 years, does not take the stand. They put someone else on to say what she wrote in her own complaint when she's sitting in the courtroom. And that's done quite often in gamesmanship, because they don't want to put a rookie on the stand and be measured by our legal team.
How far away is this from trial?
Oh, who knows? We're going to get discovery. We'll take a look at their discovery. They're going to say it's ongoing. I mean, think about it. They had 3 months to get this stuff. They had 3 months to get warrants. They didn't get warrants that night. They didn't get warrants the next night. They didn't get warrants the next month. They didn't get warrants the month after. They waited 3 months to get warrants on whether or not there's guns, whether or not there's jewelry. How about their cell phones? How about the computers? That gives me great pause when I see a case that takes that long to get warrants, if you believe everything that was said on the evening that it occurred.
So can you tell me
let me take one from her because she was talking last minute.
Can you say anything about the identity of RD, and then you also spoke about a social media post you had made?
Correct. So, listen, I don't like when the government puts initials in and everyone takes a guess who they are. We all know who they are, right? I'm not going to say it's this person or that person. That's not my job to do. But certainly there have been media posts of individuals that we suspect were involved in that evening where they're denying that it occurred, or they're denying that they're giving statements to the government. I think that's unusual as well, because of what the government put forward today seems to negate those statements, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Listen, guys, Sam and I have had many, many cases together, right? We just finished a case a couple of years ago in San Francisco on the Cash App murder case. And whenever I talk to individuals, whenever I talk to the media, I always say, this is not a straight road. It's always a very winding road. So we never know where things are going to take us. We got to look at the evidence as it comes in, and we'll see what's there. I'm just shocked that, when they say there might be video out there, they don't have it. There might be this mystery contract, they don't have it. Oh, they were at Staples, making copies. It's just a total guess. So, we're not here to guess. I'm here to look at the evidence, to weigh the evidence, and to make the best decision based on that evidence.
What your client just stays in detention until what?
Exactly. You can't be guessing when people's lives is in the balance. People just out here making wrong guesses on purpose. Like, bruh, give a man a chance to be innocent till proven guilty. Motherfuckers all this, nah, he just guilty, bruh. He guilty. You might be his juror, and you already got bias and favoritism towards him going in. Come on, nah.
You ain't lying.
That what ain't right. That's the one thing I don't like. You feel me? They f***ed up the due process by glorifying and putting this shit on the internet before this shit got a chance to even be, you heard me, investigated properly by the proper authorities.
Yeah, currently he'll stay in detention. Get discovery. We'll start going through that. There's going to be several motions that we're going to file, obviously, in the next couple of weeks. But that'll all come out. We'll get copies.
So did the feds even interview any of the people? Did the feds even interview any of the people yet? Any of the alleged victims?
So my understanding is the FBI has, over the past 3 or 4 months, has interviewed none of the alleged victims, and allegedly they all have future dates to give statements. But I have no idea if that's true. We're basing it on what the agent said on the stand, that each one of those witnesses from that evening is going to appear and give a statement to the federal authorities.
So Gucci and everybody that was present is going to. They saying the victims. That mean Gucci and everybody that was present is ready to go ahead and drop off that statement when the time comes, when they knock out their door and let them boys know, hey, it's time for y'all to do that tell diligence that we were waiting for y'all to do. You feel me? Get on the stand and do that, which y'all told us earlier when nobody was around. We need you to say exactly the same, and we'll be able to go ahead and close out the case in your favor. It's like they're gonna be looking surprised. Yeah, that's talking about Gucci, you know, his security guards, probably the wife if she was present, and people along them lines.
Not to the FBI,
So, yes,
but that
Gucci is ready
evening
to
it
make a
appears
statement,
from
guys.
the material that they produced and from the agent's testimony is that RD gave a statement that evening, but since that evening has not given another statement. But the FBI said in the future they're all scheduled to give statements, so we'll have to see. All right?
So as y'all see from right there, man, Pooh Shiesty lawyer looked real tough. Charleston White, I spoke on his lawyer. He said that he a bad mother jammer. A bad mama jammer out of Texas. Now, Big 30 lawyer, from what the internet's saying, is not stamped yet, but from what's been put out all on the blogs and stuff, Big 30 bond has been paused. And they want Pooh Shiesty's dad to go back to jail. They don't want him out. So I don't know how this is gonna play out. Y'all gotta get in the comment section and let me know.
Nah, they saying Pooh Shiesty daddy did his last bit of informing. They don't need him no more for the job. He completed his deed. It's time for him to go serve the rest of his time now? That's crazy. But talk about cleaning their hands, get rid of you when they done with you. Ooh, used and abused.
It ain't just rapping. He ain't rapping. It's all black American males with a criminal mindset.
Yeah.
You cannot beat the 1 in 3 statistics. You cannot beat the white man's numbers that he done computed for. So 1 in 3 going or will be on some form of community supervision in their lifetime, or what else? Almost 90% go back within 5 years after being released.
You ain't lying about them quotas.
So when you get out of prison, wait 5 years to celebrate your freedom, because most of you going back.
Yeah.
So it's not that I predicted it. Statistical data
statistics, yeah, it's common sense. But
so when you look at how Nick talking when he in prison, when he get out of prison, then his conversation lets you know, because what's in a man's heart come out of his mouth.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Now he was talking Larry Hoover talk when he was in there. And then you can't have your mama and daddy, homie. The mama, the daddy, and the kids can't all beat up. Because that's almost a guaranteed losing situation. Because everything starts from the head. When the parents get right, then the kids start to get right. Watch your mom and daddy get right. When mom and daddy get healed, the kids get healed.
Somebody got to lead by example.
Somebody got to be the diseases. Somebody got to make the sacrifice and spill the blood to cut the generational curses.
Yeah.
It ain't the white man putting the curses on them. And it ain't God doing it. It's the actions and the sins of thy father.
Yeah. They only do what they grew up watching.
And if you didn't have no dad to watch, guess what? You watched the mama expose you to. Her brothers, her boys,
across the street,
her friends.
Yeah. That's why a lot of these be twisted.
I ain't gonna lie, boy. Charleston, your household was a little different than everybody else. Boy, you had all that going on in your crib, boy. No wonder you talk like that about them jits, boy. This man talking about his, what's the name, uncles and his mama friends that be clapping her buns. I'm like, damn, boy, you had a traumatic upbringing, didn't you? Nah, that must have been harsh. Boy, that must have been hard. No wonder you trying to project that on everybody else, gang. I know you know a lot of people do relate in a lot of ways and shit. Nah, I think you alone on that one, gang.
He ain't lying.
Talk about.
Yeah.
I think he talking about himself on that one.
Yeah. So be tough nigga in the aspect of trying to be a good man and then don't know how to pick a good woman because his mama wasn't a good lady.
All he was saying was
sides of the coin.
Yeah. Ooh, I know they cold right now, all these be in their pussies.
Hey, listen. Back-to-back violent charges in the feds. Homie, we won't see Pooh Shiesty today at 290.
He gotta sit his ass down. It's over with.
He ain't got no choice this time unless he tell.
I think he gonna tell, huh?
Not me.
You don't think so?
No.
Nah, he gonna keep it solid.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it right here first, predicts. He gonna keep it solid.
So far, I ain't hear that boy say a thing, you feel me? Not that they gave him the opportunity to say anything. I mean, he been talking quite voluptuously on them songs and the music tracks he been dropping lately, but, you know, under the guise of entertainment and things of that nature. That's just entertainment, man.
He a different kind of young. If you listen to his lyrics, he won't.
He is a little late. He a little game related.
Hey, if you listen to his lyrics, he's dead, and he's well articulate with the game. And he can execute the game.
I don't know about all that, gang. He ain't pushing nothing but self-sabotage and things of that nature to the youth. So I wouldn't go that far and say things of that nature and say things such of that caliber. I mean,
he the leader of all them.
You reaching?
Man, he a different kind of young.
Yeah.
And he want to be what he is. So
he
nigga,
learned
when
that
you
from
young,
his daddy.
hey, listen, when
wanna be,
so
yeah.
you looking at
You wanna be the
Larry
wrong
Hoover
things.
or Tukey Williams in their young prime before they found redemption.
Right about that, huh?
No, you looking at a little Larry Hoover, a little Tukey in their prime before they found redemption.
Yeah.
So he barely 30. So he got about 15, 20 more years. Because you got to don't grow up in 50.
Yeah, they take a long time for them to grow up.
You split the OG person out and still hollering cuz and blood.
Yeah, that's it.
Homies. That's a young man's mind based on this conversation.
Yeah. That's why they where they at.
We all where we at based on what we know, what we talk, and what we want.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it again. We all where we at based on what we know, what we walk, and what we talk.
Facts. So that's what Charleston White had to say when he spoke on Pooh Shiesty, man. Y'all get in the comment section and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you new. Let me know if Big 30 and them cook, bro. Y'all gotta let me know. But until then, man, y'all click one of these videos on the screen. I'm gonna keep y'all in the loop.
I reckon you don't know where you from.
Shout out my boy Stingy, man. But nah, gang. I really do think it's over with for them boys. Not for all the right reasons, but for all the wrong reasons. The fact that all this information already hit the internet before the trial has even been considered, it's like, yeah, it was over before it started. But the way the lawyer was talking, though, if you ask me, it looked like gang knew what he would talk about, though. You feel me? He was like, oh, nah, I ain't finna disclose no names. All the witnesses look like they coming forward. Based on my case, that little thing with the house arrest they talk about him, he was checking in. So all that was probably publicity stunts for the internet to make y'all think he ain't checked in for real, but he was checked in. All that's, we ain't even had to bring that up in court today. So yeah, nah, it looked like his lawyer lawyering, and they keeping him off the internet for the time being. So in my humble opinion, it ain't looking too completely cooked. But at the same time, that's over with, gang. We just gotta be honest too. At the same time, you feel me? He ain't really get them boys much of a shot. He made it super hard for the lawyers. Back in the booth, I lost my dogs, I kill if I get a chance, I'ma shoot. Bye, bro, I crash, broad day, you know, man, so I'm telling the truth. Ain't no therapist can relate to me, it's why I put my pain in the booth. No, I'm really coming from poverty, borderline, I ain't have no rule. I will hit a list for real, they get fucked by trying to learn how to spoof. Fuck around, find who spoofing back, that spoofer, I got spoofed. They asked about Robert, did a lot of it. We the first young niggas with counterfeits. So my bro, I'ma make it, can't lie to shit. Won't never chat much about a lot of shit.